Welcome to Real Talk Rentals, a brand new podcast from OnQ Property Management. The goal of this podcast is to share with you all the tips, tricks, secrets, and everything that goes into owning a successful rental property. I'm Ben, and I'm with my co-host, Eric Dixon, the go-to expert on all things rental and real estate. So, Eric, do you think you could give us a quick rundown of OnQ's history and your personal history with the market?
Absolutely. Thanks, Ben. It's a pleasure to be here. We're excited about this new podcast. Our history goes back, over a decade now, and and Ben, you've been a part of the last half decade or so. So I'll jump all the way back to, it was 2010. So that's back when Taylor, the founder and CEO, currently, him and his wife, actually kind of just jumping right into it. They've been doing property management for 5+ years back in Sholo, Arizona, small town. And they wanted to come down here to the Valley where her family was from and so forth. And so they made the leap, and started this property management company before I was involved, before you were involved. And they went back to the basics. They lived in their in-laws attic. Taylor's over 6 feet tall, and they lived like a 5 foot tall, attic space here. And, they 3 or 4 kids at the time, and started, I think it was March 2010. And the reason I remember that, it was the same month that my wife and I got married, and I married his first cousin. So Taylor and I didn't know each other at the time, but my current business partner is my wife's cousin. So it kind of just worked out. So yeah, he started with 0 doors, 0 contracts, 0 clients, and knowing property management, he just said, hey, do you know what? I want to revolutionize the property management space and, how owners and residents and applicants and so forth are impacted in the industry. So let's see, that was in March 2010. It was December 2010 is when I met Taylor. So we met at a family reunion. My wife and I, we were there. He was there with his wife, and we were doing something. And he said, hey, man, I do property management. At the time, jumping back to me now, I was selling real estate since 2008. I was kind of just a buyer's agent, did short sales, tons of foreclosures, selling houses for $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 a house. It was 2008, 9, 10, 11, it was crazy. So I loved it. I was selling homes. I just gotten married, no kids yet, just trying to grinding and making money and doing my thing. Well, a few months after that, I get a call from Taylor. He's like, hey, man, I want to take you to lunch. I have this opportunity. And I'm sitting there going like, dude, I finally made it in real estate. The last thing I want to do is do property management. Back then, when I'd sell houses, I would just refer them to a local guy to refer these houses to a property manager. And I was just like, man, get me out of here. I sold the house, it closed, here are the keys. I did not look back. And I specifically remember dropping keys off a couple times, and the property manager had a trailer load with a washer, a dryer, trash. He's all grungy, and he's just like, oh man, another fourplex, dude. I guess, thank you. I guess, not
the life you wanted to live.
Yeah, man. I mean, property managers are the redheaded stepchild is what it was kind of like in the industry. And so I wanted nothing to do with property management. I wanted to talk to Taylor about, hey, maybe I can sell your clients' houses. Maybe you do the management, that sort of thing. So, he actually took me to lunch. We're in Gilbert right now, and he took me to lunch at this Panda Express about a half a mile from here.
I go there all the time on lunch.
Yeah. So, real fancy. Taylor's killing it, property manager. He's got a big budget, and takes me to Panda Express. And I remember he's like, hey, dude, here's the thing. I need somebody to sign my owners. I'm building this business, this brand, blah, blah, blah. You can still sell real estate, but you could do kind of some side hustle money and sign owners for me. And I knew nothing about property management, but all I saw was you could make whatever, a couple $100 a door commission. I can still sell houses. I can still list houses. I can still do my thing. And he kind of wrote it on a napkin. And in my head, I was like, okay, I'll make what I'm making now plus a supplemental $500, $1,000, $2,000, And I was just like, dude, this is cool. And I kind of almost decided that day that I wanted to do it, but I was scared to leave my brokerage because, I had awesome manager, awesome broker. They had taught me tons. I owed all my success to them, and I was about to jump ship to do property management, and I knew that, my broker, even when I quit, was like, dude, you're an idiot. Like, why are you doing property management? So yeah, he took me to lunch, in March. And I looked, in preparation for this, I was looking back at history the last week, and it was April 1st is when I switched over my license. So, he started on Q in March 2010, and April 2011, exactly 1 year later, I came on board. And that's kind of, for me, where on Q started. He had maybe 60 doors, maybe 70, something like that. And I remember when he's teaching me the pitch, he'd be like, hey, people are going to ask you, how many doors do you manage? How big is your team? And he's like, always just round up. We have almost 100. We have almost 200, just getting close.
Pad the numbers.
Yeah, just pad the numbers a little bit, So that's kind of how it started, and I was so green, but what set us apart at the time that I feel like we still do good at is I just answered the phone, I followed up, and I showed up, and man, looking back, it's just like all the crazy stuff I did was, all the houses I'd clean at midnight and paint without AC and just crazy stuff that we just don't need to do anymore. But just looking back in preparation for this, it's crazy where we are, just, what we're doing right now. So yeah, that brings me to where I started, so that was a decade ago, and it feels like yesterday. So since then, we've moved 2 times. We've doubled, tripled, and quadrupled the size of the office. And, we started at that time, there was 3 or 4 of us at the office. And now we've got, a combined team with our maintenance company, maybe 60, 70 employees, and so that, that in a nutshell is kind of how it started. Now what sets OnQ apart that we're so excited to share with the world and share with, Ben and I could talk all day about just what's happened since Ben started. How long have you been here again, Ben?
About 4 years.
4 years.
Yeah.
So just what we've done in 4 years has been crazy. We were celebrating, different milestones 4 years ago that we're just like, oh man, that's an everyday occurrence now. How many leads we do and so forth. So you guys will learn over time. Ben is kind of the marketing master behind the scenes, behind the curtain, producing the leads, the image, the branding, the promoting all the wonderful things we're able to accomplish. So we're super excited to kind of share the story, but also share what some of the what am I trying to say? Kind of the accidental landlords or the self-managing landlords, or even some of our current clients, the struggles they have, and show you that you don't necessarily have to hire us for us to provide a solution for you. Like, we want to be a wealth of knowledge. We'd love to earn your business, but at the same point, we're here to help. There is so much business to go around, so much opportunity, and we attract such awesome people and awesome, clients that we want to share with you. And so kind of segueing into kind of the bigger picture of what's happened in the last 10 years, that summary was what happened in the first 12 months. But what's happened since then has been just short of incredible. I went from signing, 8, I think I did 8, then 16, then 24 owners in a month. And Taylor and I thought it was just insane, right? It's like 20 owners a month. Then you jump a decade, it's 2022. And you get 130 clients, 140 clients in a month. And it's just crazy how it's kind of compounded. And now that's the new normal, and it's really, the growth has been insane. And not just with number of doors, but number of services offered, reviews, wonderful employees, their families, their successes. It brings, joy to us to see families succeed and achieve their dreams as employees, just as much as it does to help our clients achieve, their dreams and so forth. So some big milestones. I kind of took a couple mental notes here, but, we hit, I think it was, so in 2012, we started our maintenance company. So it was Mammoth Maintenance. Now it's Mammoth Services. It's kind of a sister company. to where we have a little bit more control to make sure this work is done correctly. We went through almost 2 full years of just, trouble with maintenance. So that's been, 10 years strong. Like I said, we moved from our first office was maybe 1,000 square feet in the back of a vacant title company. And so when people would come pay rent, they'd knock on the door thinking we're like an abandoned warehouse, and they'd slip rent under the door, So went from there to kind of a medium-sized office, and now we came to the office we're at now. And just a month or two ago, we committed a 7-year commitment to growth, to double the size of our office here. We hit 1,000 doors 4 or 5 years ago, 2,000 doors 3 years ago, and then 3,000 doors last week. So we're just kind of growing like crazy, but with amazing support and some really cool things we'd like to share with you. One really cool thing that I'm missing. In 2020, so 2 months into the pandemic, we opened a Tucson office. So, it's March, COVID hits, and 2 months later, we're like, it'd be a great idea? Start a new business in Tucson, 2 hours away from our home base. But it's been great, and we have amazing, talented, wonderful employees down there holding it down, and we are growing just hand over fist over there, just crazy. And I'm just trying to think just what other milestones even have we had since you've been here, Ben?
When I started, it was 1,800 about doors. And then, we hit the 3,000. And I've seen the team go from, 20, 22 people that I knew pretty well to like, I walk in and I'm like, holy crap, we've got 65 people here that I know well. It's been crazy. And I think with that growth is the reason why we wanted to do this, because we see those same questions over and over again. We see the struggles that, like you said, accidental landlords have, that we feel like we can offer those solutions for.
Yeah, no. And, as we're brainstorming ideas and topics and guests and so forth for this podcast, it was incredible. I think we typed out 100 things that we're like, we want to share this. We could spend an hour and a half talking about how to price your rental, or why is it important to clean it this way or upgrade it this way, or hey, what's cool is I've been an investor, I've been a landlord, I've been a tenant, I've been a homeowner, I've been everything personally myself. I've been a real estate broker, for 7 years, and been licensed since 2008, to where I've got all these cool ideas and things that I just want to share with everybody. That's what gets me excited, to talk about. So we're super stoked about that. One thing that we would love is we've kind of checked with our employees, our team members and so forth about ideas, but we'd love to know what our clients and what our listeners want to hear, and we just have this wealth of knowledge that we just want to get out there, and so
absolutely
that's what I'm stoked about.
All right, so we're going to be coming to you bi-weekly. We're actually dropping the next 2 episodes right now, so you'll be able to listen to those as soon as you're done listening to this. And then immediately you should subscribe, like the podcast, let us know what you want to hear more about, and it'll be great, informative, and a lot of fun.